Hello again. It's July 26th. I'm going to make as quickly as possible a garden tour. It's been a while. I made one in between, but I never got around to actually uploading it. I think the last time was in May. So I mean, there should be a lot of change. Our dwarf apple tree is still growing, but no fruit this year. As it comes to the blueberry bush, yeah, this one had lots and lots of flowers, but they all ended up being rather small. And then the one I was really impressed with was the Rica Blue instead of the Hort Blue. And their berries really they get so much bigger, and it's quite, yeah, they're delicious. Coming around to the greenhouse, the tomatoes took a lot longer than they did last year. So we have an Italian variety here that's supposed to be really good for sauces. And then we also have a Mamon, which are supposed to be big, meaty tomatoes. And then we also have from last year as well the Chirola cherry tomatoes. Back here, greenhouse is really packed. We have the Black Beauty eggplants, as well as, yeah, the bell peppers have been really doing well this year. I mean, each plant seems to produce quite big bell peppers. This one, they're not as big, but there are more of them. I should actually thin them out. But the most of these pepper plants in here are jalapenos. I haven't been able to find jalapenos here in Germany so easily, so even jalapeno plants aren't as easy to find as I was hoping. So I'm growing my own. I'm looking forward to making jalapeno poppers, if I'm honest. And then also the Swiss chard here. But coming back out into the garden, yeah, I just did a video on the elephant garlic, but first, yeah, the apple plant tree has been, we'll see. I mean, last year we had tons of apples on here, but it ended up being next to nothing. But I'm hoping that this year will be better. But yeah, I just did sorry it's so windy, but I did a video on the elephant garlic, and there's 3 of the 4, but I've been going through the garden harvesting quite a bit. I mean, like the kohlrabi, it's probably woody. I left it way too long, and that's why we're taking it out now before it gets worse. Or yeah, the Florence fennel, these were kept inside way too long, and so they're already going to seed. The other elephant garlic with, of course, the flower, but it hasn't opened up yet completely. Today I'm going to get out the rest of the garlic. The onions and the other garlic is pretty much all removed already. The carrots are good to go, and we're actually able to harvest quite a few as we want. And it's one of my daughter and my wife's favorite things to do, to come out here. Let's see. Try to thin them out as we go. Where is the base? Ah, Forky. Yeah, this is the first year of doing the carrots out here, so the fertilizer, yeah, there's quite a bit of nutrients in the ground, which will cause this forking. But I have to say, they are really, really delicious. Then next to it we have, yeah, these are the Super Schmidts are kohlrabi that can get up to 10 kilos. Also, the broccoli behind it, excuse me. Impolite to speak with your mouth full. One thing I've noticed is tomato plants have become the weed from the compost that I spread around here. Their seeds are everywhere. The Brussels sprouts are doing well, and I'm looking forward to them, as well as we're still getting lots of little shoots. I mean, they're not like the big head of broccoli, because the mains have already been eaten. Yeah, I still love these in my garden. I love the color, simply put. Then we have the corn. It was really quick to start, but now it's actually going, and It was quick to start and then it seemed to slow down. Yeah, powdery mildew starting to spread all over the pea plants. It started with the prophetess and spread to the sugar snaps. There aren't that many sugar snaps on here right now because I just harvested. I think it was like half a kilo. I still have to come through. Some of these aren't ready yet, but because yeah, they're supposed to bulk up, and then a lot of them we've frozen. But you know, some it's actually just nice to pop open a pod and eat stuff out here. The Swiss chard and zucchinis here have basically been eaten by the potato plants that are laying down. And the green beans were really slow to start. This year was not a warm year, and everything was really kind of slow to start. But I mean, we are slowly getting there, and like you can see, we do have some starting. What has surprised me with it is the Hokkaido pumpkin plant. There are some nice sized ones, but it just keeps going, and I was going to stop it, but then I figured, nah, don't mess with a good thing. So I just have to move it a lot, and it's getting more and more difficult every time I mow the lawn. The asparagus is really growing well. It's over 2 meters tall. I know because I'm 2 meters tall, and it's much taller than I am, even with the I think that's 20 centimeters height it's got from the bed. But next year it will be ready to eat, and that's what's going to be good. We got a lot more cherries this year, but they're already all gone, and I made the final cut to prune it back, and I think it's pretty much in its final position. The peach tree is still going. They did have a couple, like you can see right here, but it just basically, it started to swell and then it went back into nothing. Here I also cut it back pretty hard, but the plums are still there, but not nearly as many as last year. But I think it's because I did cut it back pretty hard last year, just because it was starting to get out of control a little bit, and we don't want it too tall. As you can see, the water sprouts on top also will have to be taken care of this year. We've also got here then more zucchini. This is a gold rush. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sentimental, and it's very hard for me to get rid of a lot of plants once I've got them growing. So here they've also been slower this year, but we've got the red raspberries, and then over here is a yellow variety called Fall Gold. But I think we've eaten all the ones it has here. I've got to stake this up to support it a little more. But yeah, I don't have an example to show you there. Then the potatoes in the bags, like last year. But this year, instead of doing 10 weeks, I'm just doing different kinds. So here we have a purple variety, which is actually growing the best out of all the plants I've got. A blue, and then from some students of mine, I've got red. And then from the video last year, we had a couple left over from a bag that I left longer. This is the Estima second earlies. Then we also have some Haida Kartoffeln, so Haida potatoes from the Luneburger Haida. We bought too many and they were chitting, and so we just said, okay, throw them in whatever we got in a container. We also have here the gooseberries, red variety, and they're pretty much ready to go. Strawberries are done basically. Then we also have here black currants, also ready to go, but we just didn't have time to actually come out and pick them all and make them into jam. We've got 12 square meters of strawberries. Started with 85 plants, way too many. They grew pretty tightly around each other. Here's another gooseberry, but it's the normal green, but they've already been picked and turned into jam. Here's a red currant, but again, they've already all been picked and turned into jam. The rhubarb is also basically finished. Yeah, it's not basically, it is finished. And then we have in the back greenhouse, we have the cucumbers. But I did just harvest yesterday, so I don't know if I have an example. Yeah, we've got a couple of different types. These are still Chinese Schlangen is what they were called in German. And then we also have claro, which are for salad, and then these two here are for pickling. So I just need to make sure, because what I didn't pay attention to is back here, and then of course there was about a 15, half a foot long cucumber that was supposed to be pickled, so that's where I'm going to have to watch out. I've got lots of little runners here. These are from the white pineapple, and I'm trying to do a lot so next year we can actually make white pineapple strawberry jam, so that it'd be a white jam but tastes like strawberries, and so that'll be interesting. And these two I'm really looking forward to. They're a habanero pepper plant, so extremely hot compared to the chili peppers I did last year. And that is basically an overview of the garden. I mean, there is inside the winter garden, again, we have some more jalapenos and eggplants, and then because it's rainy here all the time, there was the onions and everything, and garlic that we left. And there's also a tomato plant, but it's really thin and leggy, and then another zucchini. But yeah, that's a basic overview of everything going on in the garden. I'll try to be more regular next time. But yeah, thanks for watching, and talk to you later.